And we are live. Hello, everybody.
Woohoo!
Hello, chat.
Hello, hello.
Say hello to our two very special guests, João and Linford, joining us for OctoStudio Live today. Also, a very special edition of OctoStudio Live. It's the first one during our Octo Sparks sort of initiative programming. We're really excited to be trying out this format. But first, let's just settle in. How's everybody doing? João, how's your day going? How are you feeling?
I was super excited for this live stream. I want so badly to participate in this Octo live stream. Good to be here.
Yeah, you've been a guest at in the chat in a lot of our previous streams, so it's good to have you on the other
Exactly,
side now. Linford, how are you
exactly.
feeling? How are you today?
It's exciting. I'm excited and I'm happy that we'll be doing this, and more especially because the project I developed, I developed it in my home language. So it's lovely.
Can't wait to see. Yeah, you were really excited to share it right before the stream when we were chatting. Let's see in the chat. Let's see. Hi, RuPaul. Hi, Karo. Zinnia's in the chat. Hey, Zinnia. Um, yeah, and so the Octo Sparks stream, we want to do something where we get to collaborate with a lot of our partners, also highlight the work that they do for OctoStudio that they've done and share some of that with you all. We thought we would kick off the year with the theme of celebrating where we're from. So that's the theme for today's conversation, for today's projects, and really for all month. If you want to make a project to celebrate where you're from, we would really love to see it. Let's do maybe we can have our guests do short little introductions, just their background, where they're at right now. What do you want to share with our viewers today? So we can start with João, a little introduction.
So officially, hi everyone. I'm originally from São Paulo, Brazil, but I'm joining you from Madeira Island, which is a island from Portugal, here close to Europe. Um, so I've been working with kids, creating projects using Scratch and robotic kids. So now I'm super excited with this new option, the OctoStudio. I have been having a lot of fun with kids creating projects using OctoStudio.
Great, thank you. Yeah, and João and I have worked on a lot of workshops in Brazil together with kids and families for like almost 2 years now. It's so wild to think of that. Yeah,
Yes,
it's
it's
really
been a
fun.
long time.
And Linford, do you want to give a short little introduction?
Yes, I am from the northern part of uh, South Africa, and I'm working for the University of Johannesburg as a lecturer or a professor in the Faculty of Education. I work with pre-service teachers. These are student teachers who are training to become teachers. And I also work with the in-service teachers, people who have
Mm.
experience in the teaching profession. And that also includes people who are employed by government to train teachers and also professors from other universities. So I've been working on creative coding with starting with Scratch and now on OctoStudio for a while now. And I'm very excited to be part of the team.
Yeah, and we're extra honored to have you here this month because you're such a busy time for you with your dissertation right around now. So thank you so much for making time to join us and just spend some time with the Octo Studio community. So then I was thinking about how to sort of start our discussion, and I thought maybe a little bit of a question to tap back into where we come from, tap back into our childhood would be fun. So I'm curious to hear if you think about growing up where you grew up, right? So share a little bit about that. And also tell me, I want to know, how did you play in your childhood where you grew up? What kinds of games did you like? What did you do for fun? Did you like to play alone? Did you like to play with friends? To share a little bit about that story, and we can see how the discussion unfolds. So, whichever one of you wants to go first.
I think I can go first. So I always loved the technology since I was a child. I remember playing with a lot of electronic devices, like open things, just to understand how they work. And I'm talking like when I was 8, 9 years old. So since I was a kid, I always loved um, electronic stuff, and I decided to go for electrical engineer. I always loved to code, but when I was a kid, we didn't have so much resources for kids that loved to code.
Mm.
So I remember reading a lot of books about coding, but I didn't have anything to try out. So when I was, I think, 12 years old, I took some coding classes, and but I didn't have a computer at home, so I was kind of learning just by reading and didn't have any devices to test it, to learn more.
If you had had OctoStudio growing up, what sorts of projects do you think you'd have been making?
Oh my God. Oh, I would do so many projects because, like I said, always love technology. So I think I would code some games, some quizzes, presentations, photo albums, gift cards to send to friends. I don't think I would spend much time studying at school. That's the bad thing. I think I would prefer to spend most of my afternoon, night coding, learning more how to do all those cool stuff.
Yeah. When I was young, I also was, I think I got into coding young, but I got into coding through MySpace and Neopets. I don't know if, probably like the kids on this, on the chat are a little young to know of it, but it was a site where you can make your own profile and decorate it with HTML and CSS. And I remember just having a lot of fun getting to customize like my personality on the internet. And what about you, Linford? Where did you grow up? What kinds of games did you like to play? What did you do for fun? Oh, I think your audio, maybe you're muted. Let's see.
Yes.
Now we're good. Yeah.
I was saying that, um, unlike you guys, I never had much of a background on coding. I was introduced to coding when I was becoming a professor, and I was introduced to Scratch. But I grew up in the rural villages of South Africa in a province called Limpopo. So I was much more interested in developing cars using copper wires. So we would always, when we are bored with our friends, we'll come together in the community and then use copper wires to
Oh, we have
design
a picture of the
uh, to
car.
design. Oh, okay, okay, that would be good if you show it. So we we used to design that, and we would use the containers of shoe polish to use them as wheels, and it was very
Mm,
interesting because there was also
in
a little bit
container.
of some electric circuits there, because most of the time we would also have radios playing on the car. Would connect a radio using a battery, and we would connect it to the car, and then we would drive together as kids from a certain section to go meet up with other kids from another section,
You can
and we'll
fit
play
in the
our cards
car.
together. Each one of us. Sorry.
You can fit in the car. Like a kid is in the car.
No, 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 no.
Oh.
No, no, we had our own steering that we would use
Ah.
on the proper car. So yeah, you couldn't stay in the car.
Cool.
So it was really interesting. I think that's where part of our creativity actually evolved.
Yeah, being able to design something, make it with your friends, play with it, test it out, make changes. Let's
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a moment just to see what's happening in the chat here. We have a lot of hellos from Miami and Cuba. I grew up in Miami.
Oh,
Hola. Hi, all we are dreamers. We have hello from, I see some Brazilian names. Ana Paula. Oi, Ana Paula. Fabiana. Oi, Fabi. We have our friend Ada, Etair de Ada. Hola. in Cuba in the next global game jam, kids will use OctoStudio to create their projects. That's awesome. That's so cool. I can't wait to see what they make. And hello from Kara McFarland. Hello. Um, so then let's see. We were talking about our childhood and what the ways that we like to play in Linford. I've heard that you, since in eighth grade, were really into photography and videos. Is that right?
Oh yes, definitely. Oh yes, yes. I was in photography, an informal photographer, but that was also a part of my survival because we grew up in abject poverty, so we had to try to find different ways of survival, and one of the ways of survival was um, you know uh, becoming a photographer. So I would take people
Mm,
pictures and then they would pay me about 10 rands for my services. And
that's
funny
great.
enough, now as I grow up abroad, I bought my own camera and I go around taking people pictures for fun though. I haven't commercialized it.
Yeah. No, and we're so glad that you like to take photos because this is like an Easter egg for the OctoStudio app. But maybe we can go to the phone view. Yeah, we have Eric VJing here, so everyone say thanks to Eric for VJing. And let's see. Linford, would you tell us a little bit about this background picture? Where did it come from? Who took it?
Oh,
Etc. You
so
see this one? Maybe I'll go into
yeah,
landscape
I'm the one
mode.
who actually.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So
Where's
just a little
this?
a bit of story about the yes, yeah, that's it. That's the correct one. Just a little bit of story about this was during the development of OctoStudio. Rupal emphasized that the app should be relatable to people of different areas and different backgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
So what I wanted to do was to find a picture that represented uh, where places where many children in Africa come from. So I then drove around the province because I'm working in Gauteng province. I then drove around and went into the slums. And the picture that you see was captured into one of the slums called Ramaphosa slum. And yeah, so I just loved this street because it captures the houses, the streets. You can see some lack of sanitation here and there. And many of people in Africa relate to the story that this
Mm-hmm.
image entails.
Yeah, and this also even reminds me of some streets in Brazil, like around neighborhoods that I
Yes.
grew up in, just the dirt road and the weeds on the sides and the homes that are made out of like scrap materials. It's very cool how this both is so relatable to a community, but also relatable to many communities across the world.
I
And
didn't even
then,
know you grew up in Brazil.
yeah, I'm from Brazil, from Recife, Brazil. And then now, let's see.
Yeah.
João, you also have a backdrop that has a little story, right?
Yes.
So let's go
Do you
into
want me?
yeah, thank you. Yeah, what's the story behind this one?
Which one? Let's see.
So this is
Oh,
the
yeah.
Beco do Batman, right?
Exactly. Batman's Alley. It's a place in São Paulo in a neighborhood called Pinheiros. It's a place where we didn't have any houses, only the back of the houses. So people used to go to this place to do some graffitis, some arts, and it became so famous because a lot of good painters, how do you say graffiters, people that do graffitis,
Graffiti
start,
artists? Yeah,
graffiti artists
I think so.
started going there. And now it's part of the tourist guides for São Paulo. So a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people are going there. It looks more like open museum in the streets. So this picture was taken about 8 years ago. If you go there to this place, it will look different. But one thing that I love about this picture is it looks similar to other places in the world, right? If you see it, you won't realize it's exactly São Paulo or Brazil because a lot of other places relate to this picture, right?
Yeah, I feel like that's a really cool thing about the design choices in OctoStudio is making things feel um like situated in a place but also relatable to many people. I feel like this is just very, urban graffiti. This could be in Brazil, this could be in Germany, this could be in, the US. It could be in so many places. Very cool. And then continuing with the theme of celebrating where we're from, another really cool thing about OctoStudio that's unique with other coding platforms is it's translated now in 25 languages, right? And both of you have had a big hand in the languages. So maybe we'll start a little bit with João. I know that you contributed a lot to the Portuguese translation of OctoStudio.
Yes,
What is that
yes.
like? What was the translation process like? And do you have any stories to share? I know that some blocks you and I had discussions about because translating
Yes.
words sometimes is like there's not a clear perfect fit. I just think it might be cool for people to hear a little bit of the behind the scenes process of these things.
Sure. So one thing that I really appreciate about the OctoStudio team is that since the early versions, they decided to go multilingual. So we had a lot of languages available since the beginning when we were like doing research in Brazil. We had the whole app available in Portuguese. So it's been a long process. We've been like changing translations based on what we've been learning when we tried the OctoStudio with students. And some blocks are a little bit tricky to translate to Portuguese and other languages. One of the blocks that I remember I had a really hard time, I had to talk to a lot of people, including you, was the touch and the tap block because the translation would be something like tocar, Portuguese. It's a Portuguese word, and this translation works for both words in English. So we didn't realize at first, but we had two blocks with the same translation, but they originally came from a different word in English. So we talked with some educators, some kids, and we found a better word for that, tocar and encostar, which is
Encostar.
like, yeah, the first one is like tap, and the second one will be more like touch.
Yeah, encostar is like almost like you
Tocar,
slide
touch.
together, like there's this kind of touch, but then there's like a side touch. I don't know. It's language is really fun in that way.
Yes,
Especially
yeah.
when you're thinking about like translations. It's such a it made me really realize how when you're translating things, you're almost like making a new thing because you're making decisions, right? You're making choices about like some connotation to leave out or to include in your words.
Hmm.
Um, and then Linford, you were somebody who really like what's the word? Not really my god, I'm thinking in Portuguese now and then all the words get jumbled up. But you really pushed us to include South African languages. I think you're also somebody who like let us know that there's so many languages spoken in South Africa. And I think we is it seven? How many South African languages do we have on the Octo Studio?
Um, if not mistaken, it was about five. If not mistaken, I see. Oh,
Five
actually, Steven is being included now. It's because I see
as
three,
well.
four. Yeah, it could be about six, seven. Yeah, somewhere there.
Yeah. And your native language is Sepedi, right?
Yes, it's a pity. That is your person. Yeah.
So you shared with me a story about when you first switched the Octo Studio blocks to Sapeti and what that was like for you and like what insights you have. You want to share that also with our chat with the audience?
Yeah, our home languages are innate to us. We grew up thinking and speaking these languages. And remember, when you think through certain language, you have to learn another language as well. It means when you learn English, you firstly translate in your home language or think in your home language and translate it to another language. So sometimes there are certain words that are new to us and quite complex to understand. Of course, I understood the importance of speaking our home languages, but initially I never thought of its significance in coding using your own home language until Sepedi was added onto OctoStudio. And there were blocks, certain blocks like Clyde and Move. I couldn't understand the difference, between the two. What it means actually to Clyde and what it means to Move as well. I mean, I'm a teacher by profession, so when I learn something, I feel like I have a responsibility to teach other people in a way that they can understand. So when I translated my blogs into Sepedi, I immediately understood, oh, this is what they actually mean. And after that, it was very easy for me to unpack the blocks bit by bit to the teachers and also to my students. And also be mindful that when you teach teachers, you don't just teach them the technical aspects of coding. You teach them the processes and you also teach them the pedagogy. That means you teach them how the methods of teaching. They are going to see children, so I have to teach them the technical aspect and also methods of how they should teach it to children. So these are some of the things that need to be balanced all the time when we train teachers. And that was the how my home language as embedded on OctoStudio assisted me.
Yeah, great story, great story. It's also making me think about sometimes like the barrier of a lot of coding languages or environments only existing in English. I know that when I did some research with the homeless workers movement in Brazil and they were doing coding education for people in the movement, that was a big deal for them when certain languages were only in English, because even something like go to the line or print out or all of these words, a loop, a variable, all of these words are in English already, and so for somebody who doesn't speak that to have to sort of learn another language or learn new words, it's such a barrier. But meanwhile, when you get to think in your native tongue, you get to make use of all the ways that language is ingrained in all of our thinking processes already, right? So that's one thing that's really cool
And one
about
other
the
thing,
studio.
one other thing that's very interesting, as you mentioned, variables. I remember when I was still struggling to understand, I knew how to use variables, but I asked many people in the technical industry what variables are and what they do and how you explain it to children. They also struggled to explain what variables were. And I went to some of the children who had developed projects using variables already. They couldn't also explain what the variables were and what was their purpose, but they knew how to use it, which was very interesting. They would use it, but they couldn't explain it to the people. And it's one of those things that I thought, you know what? Because to all of us, English was foreign to us. When we use our home languages, it becomes easy and it becomes understandable when you explain to people what this is, because language sometimes can also be a learning barrier.
Yeah, definitely. I see that. Let me do a little catch up on the chat. I've seen things happening, talking about making games, taking care of animals game. That's a really good idea. I used to play a game like that on online when I was little. I think it was Wild Thornberries themed. It was really fun. Let's see. Lots of hellos, hi Lego stories. Mm. Oh, and so Rupal says, beautiful to hear that reflection. And Ada says, very interesting in the chat. Lovely. Okay, well, I'm sorry I haven't been saying this, chat, but if you have any questions for our guests today, like please feel free to send them in the chat. If you have any reflections from their reflections or comments, like feel free to say something. I'll try to surface your chat to the guests, your message. But I thought maybe now we could transition into a little bit of like a making together moment. It's a little tricky to have two phones from our guests visible. So right now we'll have maybe my phone, and I think this is João's phone. In a little bit, we'll switch over to Linford's phone. But I thought of a little bit of a structured project idea where there'll be a few different steps that we can all follow, but we'll make different choices at every step. So our projects in the end will turn out different. And folks at home, if you want to follow along, this is a really good one. If you're the kind of person who's like, I want to make a project, but I'm not sure where to start. And we're going to make a project following the theme of celebrating where we're from. And first, I'm going to change my app back to English. Here we go. And so then the step one of the project, are we ready, João? Are we ready, Linford?
Yes, I am.
Great. So
Yes.
we're going to think about whenever your friends from out of town or family member from out of town comes to visit, think about a place that you love to bring people to. So a place from where you live that you always want to show your friend. Maybe it's like a restaurant that you really like, or a park that you think is really beautiful. Maybe it's just something in your neighborhood that you always walk by and you point out because it's funny or silly. It could really be anything. And I would love to also hear from our participants, maybe not a place that like tells us exactly where you live, but if you're like, oh, there's a park near me that is really nice. I like to take people to the beach. I would love to know where you like to take your friends when they come visit you. For me, I love to bring people to LLK, to the lab, Lifelong Kindergarten here, where OctoStudio was created. It's just such a fun space, and I love for people to see where I work. And we also have a lot of cool things in Lifelong Kindergarten. Like we have this big wall, just thousands of Lego pieces. So you're going to think of this place, and we're going to use that as our background. So you can take a picture from your camera roll, from the internet. If you have some drawing materials near you, you can draw a picture and use it as a background. So let's see. I'm going to go on my camera roll and use this picture of the Lego wall as my background. Let's see. João and Linford, do you have places in mind?
Yes, I do. Yes, I
Look,
do.
I will use the background. I mean the backdrop of that township, because that is where almost every friend, especially those who come out of South Africa, who come from other countries, I always take them to the townships so that they can experience, the livelihood of people that side.
So you
And
usually
it
go
has
on a
tended to
walk.
be a favorite. Yeah, it has tended to be a favorite of many of my friends when they come to South Africa. So I take them to different places, because we know that the media portrays South Africa, or rather Africa, as something else. Other people think that we are living with lions in our households, and others only come to the cities and they end up thinking, the city life, this is how South Africa is. So I like exposing people to different areas so that they can understand that people live differently.
Well, your friends are lucky when they come to visit to have like a local person to show them around and see how things really are. So, João, what place do you
You
have in
should
mind?
come visit too.
Oh, at the first
Yeah,
opportunity, I'm there.
So for me, since São Paulo is a huge city, I'm thinking of mixing two different things. One is from like a postal card from São Paulo. So I'm gonna choose the same backdrop that we showed before. But I'm also from a very famous neighborhood, so I'm gonna expose where I live because there is like 1 million people living in this neighborhood, which is called Jaçanã. So that is a very famous song in Brazil that I heard it played in a lot of countries actually. So I'm gonna use that background from the Batman's Alley with a thing very unique, very known in my neighborhood, which is a train. I can tell you the story later on.
I want to hear the story. So you're gonna pick a train as your sprite?
Exactly. I just pick
Okay.
it.
I'm gonna pick. So, and then Linford, you can pick whatever you want as a sprite. But I was thinking of doing something like, what is the feeling of being in this place, or what is the feeling of bringing a new friend into to this place, and then I'm gonna pick an emoji to represent that feeling. So usually when I come and I bring somebody into LOK, I'm really excited and I'm really sort of like eager to see their excitement and to see them sort of be like, wow, this is so cool. So I'm picking the emoji with the starry eyes.
Okay. Let me see.
I'm gonna catch up in the chat a little. Terrence does stuff. Wants to get a shout out. Shout out to Terrence. Thanks for joining our live stream. Zinnia, one of my favorite
I'm
places
gonna pick
nearby
up
is a
a
bakery.
Rainbow Nation.
Which one are you doing?
I'm using the Rainbow Nation emoji.
The rainbow.
I just picked it up. Yes, it will be one of the emojis that I used here. And the reason I use that is we are well known as a rainbow nation due to our diversity in South Africa. So it's always exciting all the time when, well, fortunately, I have many friends coming from the United States. So all the time when they come to South Africa, I take them to different cultures so that they can see how people in different parts of the country and how people from different cultures celebrate their heritage and have different cultural practices as well. So, yeah.
And that's something that they can see just like walking around in different neighborhoods, you said? They get to have a sense of different peoples and different celebrations. That's very cool.
Yes, they can see.
Okay, and so now let's add a sound so we can think about what are the sounds that happen in this place. And that's kind of what should I do sounds for lifelong kindergarten? I feel like my favorite sounds is just my LOK friends saying hello. I might ask Zoe and Eric to say hello for my sound here, and we'll record it. So pretend I'm walking into LOK. We'll all say hello. Ready? Oh, I forgot that the recording doesn't work on when we're connected. 1 second. Let's try one more time. Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Rainbow Nation!
Hi.
Hello.
Rainbow Nation!
There we go. And then maybe we can switch to Linford's screen so we can see how his project is coming along. So I think João has to unshare and Linford has to share. And
Okay.
We can switch to like our Zoom heads for a second for a little bit of movie magic. Well, movie unmagic. Let's see.
Okay.
I guess we can also switch to the Zoom window. and then everyone's visible. Yeah, see?
Including me.
Oh no. A real behind the scenes.
Hey everyone. I'm not even Zoom.
This is our VJ. And then, let's see, Linford's almost sharing
Zoe's
his
also
screen.
here.
Yeah. Little by little, people will figure out the
Yes,
layout
I'm
of
sharing
the
my
live
screen.
streaming studio.
I will go back to create.
We can go back to create. As soon as when Linford shares, I think it'll all sort itself out. I'm gonna listen to my recording one more time. Hello.
Oh, okay. I'll do that.
Rubo says the giggle is also part of being an LK. Very, very true. Steph says, love the behind the scenes. Hello from behind
It's so
the
interesting
magic
how
curtain.
That's pretty abstract. Cool.
Yeah.
um
Everyone's seeing the
gonna-
process behind the live streams. Setting up OBS.
I forgot I was using two screens.
Let's see. Oh, look.
Let
Look
me
at
know if you can see my
that.
screen.
Movie magic. Yeah, we see your screen. Oh wait, what is the you have a really cool drawing in your project. What is that person with like the car?
Yes. So it goes back to my childhood. And then with a mixture of what I like to show people around and our feeling. So as I said, that I like showing people how different populations in South Africa live. You know, I take people to the rural villages, I take them to the townships, and I also take them to the cities. Please note that I'm not a travel agent, people. I'm not. These are just my friends and the friends that are referred by friends. So I would have friends when they go back to the US. Some friends want to come to South Africa. Oh, we've got a friend, he's Linford. Linford can show you. So that's what I enjoy doing, because I enjoy interacting with people and also seeing different parts of the country. So it's a township, and I like people to experience the different parts of townships. But growing up in the villages, because we didn't have enough money to buy toys, then we developed these cars, you know. That's the car, the
wire
copper wired car.
Yeah.
Yes. And then this is a representation of myself. The drawing
love
that you see
it.
there, it's a representation
then-
of myself.
What does
And
your
then
speak
there
block
is-
say?
Sorry?
And what does is that like a speak block? And what does it say?
Oh, this one just says Rainbow Nation.
Rainbow Nation.
Yeah, it says Rainbow Nation. I just added it now, and then I also have some of the sounds. I added the sounds here, only if you could see how I actually made some of the sound, because remember I said that the wheels were made up of shoe polish containers. So there is certain sound, screeching sound that they always make. So we knew in our communities that when we hear this sound, it means another group of boys coming from another community are coming to play with us with their cars. And then we do the same. So in order to do the sound, this is what I used.
Let's see how it sounds.
Then after that, you see.
Oh.
So it's this, and then a little bit of knife, and then
it's just like a metal clanking sound.
Yes.
That's very creative. That's very creative. Let's see. So then we are making a real invitation, right? We're making a real invitation to our friend to come and visit us and just be like, hey, if you come and visit, this is someplace I could take you. So what words would you actually say to encourage your friend to come? So I would be like, come to LOK and we can play with Legos, for example. So I'm going to use a text block to make this invitation. But you can do a speak or a text block or you know, whatever seems good to you. Bubble. I'm gonna do, yeah, I'm gonna say, come visit me at LLK. And I've gotten this question before, but in the text block, you can move the text around just by dragging it and resize it as well. And you can change the font. I really like the handwriting font for some reason. And also the color. Yes, looks good. I'm gonna say, come visit me at LLK. And then here's a little tip also. When I make changes in the text, like I change the size and the color, and I want to keep those same changes, sometimes I duplicate the block instead of getting a new block. Because now I can just change the text, but all of the other frame and color choices that I made are the same. And we can play with Lego. I'm gonna play my project just to see how it's coming along.
Hello.
I'm gonna move my emoji out of the way of the text. Here we go. I kind of also want my emoji to do something. I don't know if anyone has an idea for it, but I feel like it needs some kind of motion. Hi.
Hello.
About it. And then Linford, what are you writing in your block? Come to South Africa. What does it say?
Come to South Africa to experience the Rainbow Nation authentically, not from the media.
Nice. Good. João, what is your invitation?
My invitation, so it's enter in the train. I know it doesn't fit exactly the theme, but I want to mix those São Paulo city with the experience from my neighborhood. So I can tell you the story now. My neighborhood is very famous because a song called 11, I'll try to literally translate it to English, 11 p.m. train. So it's a very old song. We used to have a train station in the neighborhood that I live, and people would have to get the 11 p.m. train to get to the neighborhood, or else they wouldn't be able to go there anymore because that was the last train. So there is a song related to this theme. So I'm kind of inviting people to join the 11 p.m. train to go to my
To come to your
neighborhood.
neighborhood. I love that. And who's the song by?
I'll say in Portuguese, Adoridão Barbosa,
Adoridão
Trem das
Barbosa.
Onze.
Três
Yes.
das 11. You could say in Portuguese. We have so many Brazilian friends joining us in the chat. They'll know exactly what you're talking about. And we get to share with you know, our non-Brazilian friends some Portuguese words and some
Sure.
Portuguese music.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, somebody, Augusta's like, the emoji could turn around. Yeah, whenever I see an emoji and it's round, I feel like that's my instinct too, is to make the emoji turn. I'm gonna add another when play block so multiple things can be happening at once. I'm gonna add a turn block. I'm gonna make him turn a full circle. And then maybe we can go into landscape mode if we're feeling ready to share. I feel like I'm gonna share mine. Yeah, we can VJ into landscape mode. Let's see. Hi.
Hello.
I'm happy with this. We're gonna actually send this to our friend, by the way. Oh, I think maybe Linford is ready to share too. Let's see Linford's.
Okay, let's play. You ready?
Ready.
My dear friend, come to South Africa to experience the Rainbow Nation authentically, not from the media.
I love that. Also, the sound came out so good. The metal sound of the wheels is perfect. I feel like I'm
Yeah,
there and I'm
but
hearing the kids coming down with the car.
people shouldn't take it literally because we don't encourage children to touch metals when it's raining and there's lightning. So that was just for beauty and whatever. So I can't really do this when I'm in class and teaching children.
No, I think it's great. Maybe we can see João's project too. We have to do the
Sure.
unshare and reshare. Things get a little abstract in the liminal space of the Zoom versus OBS.
Let's try it.
Oh, look at that. Okay. I see.
I think it's coming.
Oh, yeah, we see it. We just gotta, yeah, put it in a landscape. And then it'll all be good.
Can you see it, my screen? Oh, so I'll change it to landscape so we can check the project.
Yes.
So everything starts with the train saying the 11 p.m. train is departing. Tap to get into it. Then if you tap,
Tap.
oh, I don't think the sound play did it.
I didn't hear it. Maybe you have to do it with your voice now.
Okay, I think it's better if I do with my voice. Okay, the 11 p.m. is departing. Tap to get into the train. Pee-wee!
That's perfect. That's perfect. It's great. I wonder, do either of you have other, celebrate where we're from projects accessible on your phones?
Actually, I
Share?
do have one.
Yeah,
The one that is part of the video, right?
we would
That
love to see
we
that
sh-
one. Let's
okay,
take
here's
a look.
the
We can go back into
another.
the landscape. Yeah.
Yes. This one is about the caramel dog, which is a very type of race of dog that we have in Brazil. It's like a blend of all different races that we have. So when you mix different races, many years of during centuries, all the dogs look kind of the same. Actually, I'm gonna share a new remixed version, brand
Oh,
new
remix.
remixed version, because here in this remix we have how the
How they
dogs
look. Yeah.
yeah. Can you see it in
Yeah, I
the
see it.
top left side? So they became like this caramel color. So this is the project. Like I'm singing a song that my friend and
Oh,
some friends and I did. So that's the
they're
lyrics
so
and
cute.
some of the images from the dogs.
It's so cute. It's so funny how they all look.
Wow.
They all get this look, even though they're like many different mixes of breeds. It's just the
Yes.
average dog, the median dog look is the caramel dog.
And I love their faces because they all look like you want to hug them.
Yeah. They all look like they're smiling.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
Marcelo commented in the chat, João, arrasando nas referências. Killing it with the references. Let's see. Yeah, I'm wondering, so chats, do you have comments? Do you have questions? Linford or João, do you have more projects to share? I have a really cool project that I made about my hometown in Recife, but I need a prop for it that I should have brought that I forgot to bring. But I will share it on social media for OctoStudio app. So we'll keep an eye out there. But yeah, I made one for Recife about the mangroves. Wish I had thought to bring that today. Um, let's see. What else to close up, y'all? Sharing project. Oh yeah, that's true. We have to share our invitation. Thank you, Eric. So this is another cool thing about OctoStudio. It's really easy for you to share your projects with with friends. Even if they don't have the app, you can send them a video of your project. So that's what I'm gonna do. So in the top, right next to the home button, where there's an arrow, that's where the share menu is. So I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna record a video. I'm gonna
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
And then you have this video, you can save it to your photos, which I'm gonna do. You can also just send it directly here. So, I can email it, I can send a message. This phone is like a work phone, so there's not any account actually logged onto it, but imagine that I can airdrop it to my friend. Eric's MacBook Pro. Or send it in an iMessage. My friend. And off it goes. Or not. But that's how you send a video. If you go in the same menu, you can also send a project file.
Mhm.
And you can...
Just one of my favorite features.
It's one of your favorite features?
Yeah, it is.
Sharing the project file. Do you find that
Yes.
you remix other projects that you get, or you peek into the code, see how people made things? What do you do when you receive a project file?
It's really lovely because sometimes let's say for instance, it's just that we were out of time, but if I had a similar project, I would have done it on I would done it on this project. So what I wanted to do was as I'm driving the car going to that side, when it reaches that wall, I must turn back and then find a way to ensure that I drive in the street straight there down the street.
I saw João just shared it. Who did you invite to come visit you?
Yeah, I know I didn't want to distract you, but I can share again. I've just shared it to my friend Jenny that it's here in the YouTube channel. So
Yeah, Jenny's
I
always in
just
the chat. Thanks, Jenny.
I'll send it again.
My friend. Great.
So good to see so many friends joining us today.
Mm-hmm. And to people watching the live, for this month of January, the theme is celebrating where we're from. We would love to see your projects about where you're from. What do you like to show people? What kinds of foods are unique to where you're from? Dances or celebrations? What's your favorite place where you're from? What do you like about where you're from? So let's draw inspiration from that theme, share it on social media. You can tag us at OctoStudio app or hashtag OctoStudio. The tags and the hashtags are in the chat. And yeah, we would just love to see what everybody's making. And with that, I think it's time to say goodbye. Thank you so much to João. Thank you so much to Linford for taking the time to hang out and chat with us. João and I are coming back in a few hours at 5 p.m. Eastern. We wanted to also have some time for like our West Coast friends and Brazil friends for after work to be able to tune in. So if you just can't get enough of us chit-chatting and making OctoStudio projects, come join us again then. Otherwise, tell your friend who had to miss this one. Guess what? There's another one happening today. So yeah, that's it for now. Thanks
Well,
everybody for
how do you
joining.
say good night in your
Thanks for
language?
having us.
Yeah, good. Let's say good night in or good afternoon in our languages, né? Bom, boa tarde para todos.
Boa tarde.
Tchau.
Bye.